listener to the Third Power presents Fools Who Ride. The Dreamstone, Part 5.
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to Nerds of the Third Power's Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone. I am your Game Master, Mike the Birdman Dodd from ThisWeekInGeek.net and TerribleWarriors.com. And we are trekking through the city of Cambridge on the trail of the Dreamstone. However, we've uncovered politics underneath the city of Cambridge, which, well, are definitely intriguing, interesting, and scary. Right now, we are on the trail of tracking down the water witch Thera, who may be able to help our adventuring group head toward an island just off of the Cloakwood, which holds the Thieves Guild stronghold. And, well, I need adventurers for this game of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I'm joined in Baltimore with
Dr. Gonzo playing Marcus Hawk, a level 3 human knight.
In the American Midwest,
I'm Kat. I am playing Lenore Longfellow, a cleric. What did I say? It was Plague Doctor. That's right.
and of course, Radio Sega's own
Skyblaze. I'm playing Alisaria Sunshadow, a high elf paladin.
All right, so we were currently discussing, I think you were still in the Crying Jester, trying to figure out where you're going, and we discussed at the end of the last episode, perhaps approaching Thera the Water Witch to perhaps give you safe passage towards the island just off of the Cloakwood with the lighthouse where the Thieves Guild is currently making sort of a home there of sorts.
Well, if we're going to go there, we're basically fixing for a fight, so I think before we book our passage, we should see about stocking up on healing supplies, potions and medicine poultices, that kind of thing. Maybe a few extra weapons and beefier armor if we can get a hold of it with our budget. No sense going into a possible fight unprepared.
Well, I don't think I have quite enough money for a great deal of potions. Potions are pretty expensive.
Okay.
Well, we can ask the Lord and Lady nicely. They do have a kind of a pet wizard, so we might be able to beg something off them.
Indeed.
Yes, I would refrain from telling them everything that we're about to do. I'm just saying, we should go in and see if perhaps we can get some potions from them. Mari was her name?
Yes.
But I would not necessarily tell the Lord and Lady our plan.
I'm in agreement.
I'm afraid of wandering ears in that place.
Good point.
Okay.
What if we say we're going to track down the accomplice and not give too many more details? Yes?
Sounds good. So, who wants to go beg for potions and who wants to go try and book passage?
I think we all need to go to the Water Witch together in case she's dangerous. I don't think she is, but I don't think that she's a book passage kind of pirate.
Person. Okay.
So maybe we can offer her something as a fair trade. Maybe there's something she needs or wants.
It's a possibility. All right. Well, I guess first step is let's see if we can't bolster our supplies from the noble stores first. So let's go talk to the Lord and Lady.
All right, so heading up towards the Kilsh estate, you notice security seems to have increased. You see a lot more guards around right now than when you previously walked in. So you come into the main hall. Mari is there to greet you. It's probably getting into the early evening now. And she looks a little frazzled. She's just dealing with constantly making sure Neslo is under the right and proper protection, making sure Lord and Lady Kilsh are dealt with, and all her duties as the court wizard. She goes, What can I possibly do for you? I've got so many plates I'm spinning right now. I don't know how I'm holding it together.
Oh, well, now I feel somewhat bad that we must beg more assistance of you, but we have a lead on the accomplice of the thief. However, the lead takes us into some rather dangerous territory, so we were hoping that we might be able to beg a couple of healing potions so that we all come home in one piece.
She goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got some back in my laboratory. Come with me. So she leads you back to her laboratory area. She pulls a rack of potions. She gives you 2 each, which will heal 1d10 hit points. So write these.
Is it a lesser or a?
Yes, lesser.
Lesser. Okay.
Thing to make notes here.
Equipment.
Filter by potion.
Let's see.
Potion of.
I need to add something to my equipment. As we all struggle to figure out on a certain website how to add things.
Healing.
Oh, so it's not marked lesser. It's just potion of healing, and then potion of healing greater, superior, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's superior, supreme. I don't see just regular potion of healing.
There is
Right at the top, it's in black. If you just type in potion into the filter thing.
That one is a regular potion of healing is 2d4 plus 2 hit points. What did you say you were handing us?
1d10.
Oh, it's under gear. Okay, all right, I see. All right, so 2 each. So
1d10.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm showing on the thing. Character drinks the magical red fluid. This vial gains 2d4 plus 2.
That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
We just do whatever the DM says, and it's all.
Exactly. As long as you remember that, that's fine. As long as you have it marked on your sheet and the numbers I gave you, that's fine. It's her own concoction.
Well, I mean, a 2d4 plus 2. I mean, that's that in practical terms, that's a
same
d10
thing.
anyway. Yeah.
Exactly.
So. All right. So 2 potions of healing.
Each?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
And
I
what
didn't realize
else?
I had something.
Yep. And what else?
I just found out I have spells.
You just found out you have spells.
I just found out I have spells. I knew about one of them, but because I knew I had Sanctuary, but apparently I also have protection from evil and good and minor illusion. Fine.
Well, we're gonna want that protection from evil and good, and I'm gonna do it to me.
Okay.
So if we can get 2 of them going, that would be great.
All right. Anything else that she's giving us?
What else are you looking for?
Uh,
She's like, I'll give you access to whatever I possibly can. There's some other higher end materials, but you'd have to ask the Lord and Lady yourself.
I don't need spell components because I'm not a spell slinger. I'll tell you what though. If you have a pair of binoculars.
She looks at you. She's like, yeah, that's not a problem. She throws you a pair.
All right.
Believe it or not, things like binoculars and spyglasses are really, really expensive in the manual.
Yes, please don't lose that. We could get an all. That's spyglasses. So expensive.
They're like 500 gold. It's ludicrous.
She kind of snaps your fingers and the door is shut behind you, so it's just you 4 in the room. And she lowers her voice and goes, there's something going on, and I'm not precisely sure what, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. So I'm going to give you something. And if you tell anybody how you got it, I'm going to deny it outright. And she hands you this ancient-looking twig, and it's got three sprouts on it, or 3 kind of offshoots.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Anybody want to roll Arcana?
Yes. Please.
Or Detect Magic or anything like that?
I already used that today. I don't want to waste any more spells, but I will roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
I'll roll an Arcana check as well. That's 14.
12.
You are able to determine it is some sort of item that grants resurrection.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, it's a twig of resurrection.
It only has 3 charges, though.
The living stick.
If you get into trouble, this will save you, but there has to be something left to resurrect. So don't get disintegrated.
I'm not carrying it because I'm going to be in the thick of the battle.
I can carry it. One of the two of us should carry it. Resurrection, remind me, DM, because I would know this, but resurrection, in order to cast resurrection, how many minutes after the person's been dead?
I'll say 5.
5
Just
minutes?
keep it
Okay.
simple.
Because I have Spare the Dying, but it's a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's not as funny as Rebirth, though, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh, Rebirth is amazing. Reincarnation?
Yeah, the one where you end up with different race.
Mm-hmm.
Roll on this table. It can be any one of these races up to and including flat.
Okay. Well then, since they're what's your name again?
Mari.
Since Mari's trusting us, I guess we'll repay that trust by saying, okay, we're not going to tell you exactly what we're doing, but we are going to tell you that we are fixing for a fight, and that what we do could have repercussions in the greater town. So I would recommend posting extra guards around the city, and particularly in the protection of the Lord and Lady, because what we're doing might make them a target. That's all I can say.
She kind of nods her head and says, things are brewing under Cambridge, and...
Oh, you have no idea.
Out of curiosity, what is your gut telling you?
Well, as the nights go on, the dreams get worse. And more people are... The town is uneasy. The town is not at rest. And our dungeons are quickly filling up, and we're running out of excuses to tell people. Sooner or later, people are going to notice their loved ones aren't coming home. And it's no madness that we can cure.
How rapidly is the, whatever you want to call it?
How rapidly is the situation deteriorating?
Yeah.
Well, last night we took in 5. I'm guessing there'll be a few more tonight, there'll be a few more tomorrow, and a few more the day after that. It's spreading, whatever it is.
How has since the Dreamstone was taken and people having these nightmares that we are in fact having as well, have the nightmares gotten worse as they've gone? Did they start small and get infinitely worse?
She kind of sighs heavily. She goes, I hate to lay this on you, but since you 3 arrived in town, it's gotten significantly worse.
That might be
it's
because
not
of
your fault. We know that, but whatever appeared at the festival was not pleased with you.
Well, we wouldn't be doing our jobs right if it was.
We're not pleased with it either.
And we've got a deadline, but that's okay. We can do deadlines. So, I think we've begged as much as we can beg. I think now it's time to go talk to the Water Witch.
Thank you so much for all of your help, and I hope we can resolve this situation quick, for your sake and the rest.
I serve the city first.
It's good to hear.
And with that, the door opens, and you are led back outside to the Kilsh estate.
Okay.
Okay, where do you plan to look for Thera?
Guess
Well, the docks would be an obvious place to start.
Yeah.
All right, so as you start moving down towards the docks, it's a little less busy. There's still people loading and unloading ships, but because it is getting a little closer to after dinner time, it's about 7 p.m. now. There's just ordinary dock workers, stuff like that, people filling up warehouses and whatnot. You notice a rather large galleon type boat, very sleek looking. It's got this stylized mermaid on the front of it. You see several other smaller ships that just definitely mercantile, fishing, stuff like that. You see one that looks a little bit slicker. And everybody roll me a perception check.
15.
11.
Gah.
Good answer. Okay, so Marcus, you notice the crew coming off of the one ship seems to be a little bit rougher looking than the other one. Mostly crewed by half orcs and even a few full orcs, and a hobgoblin captain.
Do I see the ship's christening?
It just looks like a stylized dragon.
A
Well-
black dragon?
Yeah, in this light, looks like it.
Well, I think we can guess that's where the slaves are coming from, but unfortunately that is not our target. So,
As tempting as it is to burn it to the bottom of the sea, and it is.
I cast a questioning glance at Alisaria to see if she's going to go berserk on this ship.
You can see my kind of sword hand twitching slightly, but I'm holding myself in check. Badly.
Not yet. We'll get there. Is there a dock worker that we might be able to inquire as to the birthing of the what was it called again? The Wild Depths?
The Wily Depths.
The Wily Depths.
Yeah, you see just a half orc just kind of sitting there smoking a pipe, just kind of taking a 5-minute breather.
Does he look like he works for the docks, or does he look like he works with all the other...
He's probably part of the port authority. He's probably just a guy who makes sure don't crash into my docks, please.
Okay.
So yeah, he looks like he works for the city.
Not to racial stereotype or anything, but we just want to make sure that he doesn't work with all those other half-orc hobgoblin.
All right, I approach him with my friendliest smile on my face, saying, "Good evening to you, sir. How fare you this night?"
I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to get drunk, and I want to go home and fuck. How's your night going?
Going all right, and I understand that it's been a long day for you and you are fatigued. I'll not trouble you for very long. I simply have a question. We are looking for the birthing of the Wily Depths. Would you be able to direct us?
He goes, and who be asking, just out of curiosity?
Traveler looking to book passage. I've got the lust of the sea in me, and I wish to join a crew to voyage the seas.
You speak pretty fancy. But, you know what speaks fancier to me, friend? Money. How much you got?
I'd be willing to pay a gold piece for the location of the ship. Get yourself some of the good beer tonight.
Make it 10 and we'll talk. Captain Thera doesn't like to be disturbed. But I'm sure you and your compatriots would make interesting company.
10 is a bit steep for that information, sir. What would you say to 5? And I'm going to roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
So that's 14 with a +4. That's 18.
Okay, he's rolling opposed. He rolled a nat 20. He looks you up and down. He goes, boy, I like Captain Thera. I've seen what she can do. I like my job.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough, sir. 10 it is.
All right, you put 10 gold pieces, which is significant amount of money,
I'm fully aware.
into his hand. And he's like, far end of the dock. If you go up, there'll be a half-elf there. Just speak the word friend in Elvish, and Captain Thera will be out to see you shortly.
Speak friend and enter.
I thank him. I thank him kindly for his generosity, and then as we walk away, I mutter to my 2 companions, "Okay, next time you're footing the bill for the info."
You're
the one who likes to hear the sound of his own voice.
Yeah. Why do you keep just giving everyone gold? You're allowed to offer people silver.
I don't have any silver. All I have is gold.
You
I need to break change.
Go to a change house! But what the?
I haven't been to a bank. When have we had the opportunity to go to a bank?
You go someplace and then they charge you 8 silver, and then you give them a gold, and then they give you change. You drink enough, you should be able to get some change the next time you beer.
He spends all of his gold on either the gambling table, the alehouse, or with ladies of questionable reputation. What makes
you-
you think he has any change by the end of these misadventures?
Hey,
I'm
at
just
least
saying,
at least
it's
I'm
possible.
at least I'm doing something with it, not dumping it all in the offering plate.
Hey, you know that's how I make a living, right?
I was talking to Alisaria.
Point stands.
So as you start walking down the docks, there's becoming less and less people. But as you approach this huge galleon with the stylized mermaid on the mast, you notice an all-female crew, actually mostly made up of elves and half-elves.
I feel at home.
All right,
They're
Alisaria, you take point.
Fine.
They're rather kind of light robes, kind of like purple and white, and all carrying scimitars and short swords.
Yes. Proved.
Okay.
One of them looks up at you as the three of you approach.
I'll give them a short bow. My greetings. We would speak with your captain if you're amenable.
Hey, whatever the Elvish word for friend is.
Yes.
Who speaks Elvish?
Me,
Okay,
obviously.
good.
I,
All right.
I do too, but she's the elf, so she takes point.
All right, so you speak the Elvish word for friend. She acknowledges you and says, "Please, wait right here. I'll go fetch the captain."
Thank you.
So, after a couple of minutes, you see this woman come down the gangway. She's tall. She's got these deep brown eyes. She's got this long, dark hair. She's dressed a little differently than the rest. She's kind of got like thigh-high boots, tight pants, so she can move around, and kind of like a flowy shirt. But she also has, her arms are covered in different types of jewelry, and some of you recognize as various religious symbols, various pieces of enchanted equipment. It doesn't take a detect magic spell to know that she's packing some major mojo.
Well, hello there.
Are any of the religious symbols either one of our deities?
Neither, no.
Okay.
They mostly follow
are they any of-
Mystara.
Are they any of my deities, of which I have, let me call up my background here, 3, Saloon, Sune, or Timora?
Saloon for sure. You do see several half-moon crescent necklaces.
Okay. That makes sense, because Saloon is the goddess of navigation.
So, she walks down the gangplank and kind of leans up against the side and goes, "So, what brings you three to my boat at this hour? It's dinner time, you know."
We apologise if we've disturbed your dinner.
Oh,
We
it's
have
not a
a few
problem. It wasn't that good tonight anyway.
We have a few questions, if you don't mind, and potentially an offer for you if you're interested.
Well, I've got answers if you've got gold, but I don't like to discuss business out on open docks. The docks have ears. Please follow me. She
Certainly.
leads you up on the gangway on board the ship. Ship is remarkably well maintained. Once again, it's an all women crew. Servicing thing, the deck person.
I'm liking what I'm seeing.
She leads you towards the captain's quarters. And
I'm
you
going to
enter.
lean over to Marcus. Stop leering.
But they're all so pretty.
You enter the captain's cabins. It's lavishly kind of decorated. You see maps and everything else. Typically what you would expect, sort of thing. You see a whole wall of swords, daggers, bows. She knows what she's doing. You also see a small shrine.
I'm going to briefly admire the weapons collection.
So she lays back on her couch, starts finishing whatever she was having, which was probably a piece of fish and some fruit. And she's like, "Well, let's have a conversation. First off, who are you? Because I know most of the people that come through this town, at least if they come through by sea. Now, you three are not from around here. I know you came from Baldur's Gate. I know you came here for the Kilshes, but I'm not precisely sure why."
You're very well informed. We are part of the Adventurers Guild. We came here on the request of Lord Kilsh.
Okay, so you tell me something, I'll tell you something. Why are you here?
We're trying to put an end to the evil that is plaguing this village.
City.
Town, city.
Place where people live.
She kind of has a chuckle at that. She's like, well, that's such a broad term. Which evil do you mean? The slavers, the thieves, the corrupt government, or the idiots who basically run around in the streets? Which evil do you choose?
Well,
The
we were
demon-
going
the
to
demon-
start.
The demon
We're going
prince
to
that was
start-
underneath
God,
the
one
church.
person, just one person.
We were going to start with the demon prince and then work our way down.
Ah, you noticed that, did you?
Yeah,
Hard
we
to
kind of
miss.
found its portal.
I think I irritated it. I did
She
kick
ca-
it out of someone it was possessing.
She kind of stops chewing. She sets down her plate and goes, you kicked out what now?
I'm a paladin, as you may have guessed.
So that was you that did that thing during the festival, huh?
That was me, yes.
Huh. Well, that certainly puts a spin on it. Okay. So you're here to stop a great evil demon prince. She looks up and down at yourselves with your armor and your gear.
I'll pull under
mask.
my chainmail and pull out my holy symbols.
It's like, huh. So the Adventurers Guild decides to send 3 goofs to take out a demonic prince. Okay. Well,
I'll
they
try
certainly
not to
sent
take
you.
that personally.
Well, they certainly sent you guys on a suicide mission, but I'm guessing they didn't know exactly what they were getting into. Okay.
Lord
Well, you've
Killish
got my
wasn't
attention.
Lord Killish wasn't specific. He just said he had a problem and to send a few adventurers.
We're kind of learning as we go here.
I don't think anybody understood the exact extent of what was going on here until we showed up.
Well, you've got my attention. What do you want to know?
We understand that it's possible, if not completely 100% likely, that somebody tied to what's happening in this town is part of the Thieves Guild, and we understand they hole up at a lighthouse.
Yep, that they do. That's where they decide to hold all their debaucherous yet amazingly fun parties. Occasionally I do go over. We do some trade. We don't always see eye to eye, but me and Jaris have an agreement. You don't step on my toes, I don't step on yours. And as long as you don't parade your slaves around in front of me, I won't make sure that they accidentally, end quote, get freed.
Would you be able to take us there?
Oh, I'm sure I could, but why would I? That is the next question. What do you hope to accomplish by going to the Thieves Guild Island? Because they exist in a very unique position within this city where basically they don't cause trouble in the streets, they stick to their island, and the streets are relatively safe here.
We're basically trying to beat up Jaris for information.
Now that sounds fun. And funny! So, what would you do to poor old Jaris? I'm just curious.
Well, considering he's a slaver, I think Alex first crack at him.
Yep.
So, I'm sure that as a paladin, she has been trained in many unique forms of holy interrogation that she would employ. And if that fails, you know, I hold up my fists. I've got a lefty and righty here. You know, they haven't failed me yet. And we've got a plague doctor, and, well, you can't really cure something unless you know how it works. So, you know, I'm sure that Lenore could come up with some interesting medical procedures.
Thera looks Lenore up and down, and it's more than just a casual up and down. She goes, huh, plague doctor, huh?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Let's say I take you out to your little conversation with Jaris, if you will. Let's say I wanted a evening alone with your friend here. And she kind of winks at you.
At me?
At you.
I like freeze up. I'm like, excuse me?
That would not be something that I could make the decision on.
What do you mean an evening alone?
I want to show you the high seas. The beautiful. Have you ever seen the stars in the middle of the ocean with a calm sea breeze and just the right, perfect meal to go along with it?
That sounds deeply romantic and completely uninteresting.
She goes, well, I had to try. She goes, well then, you know what? You're entertaining, you're easy on the eyes, and I dig the mask. So you know what? I'm going to help you.
I like how I'm easy on the eyes, but she
Hey, don't kink shame. She might be into that shit.
can't see my face or any flesh at all.
She thinks
That
you have a
might be
cool
her thing.
mask.
Yeah.
Exactly. You look cool.
And maybe in the bargain we might be able to try and free some slaves. Who knows?
Now that sounds like a rockin' good time. I am all over that.
You have
There-
no idea. They took both of them to stop me from just, like, accidentally setting fire to that slave ship in the port.
Now there is one other thing one other elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. And that's that when we make our move against Jaris, we are probably going to kick up a hornet's nest. How prepared are you to support us in the event of a fight?
Well, I have the fastest ship on the Sword Coast. They ain't catching me. And even if they do, she kinda looks out at the ocean. They may have swords, shields, slings, and arrows. I command the very seas as my weapon. Let them try.
And in a possible land fight?
Well, I could probably pick your eye out at 100 yards with a bow.
I'll take that.
Out of character, she is deeply terrifying, and I really do not want to get on her bad side.
I dig her so much.
So she goes, when would you like to go?
How long is the journey? Would we be able to get a short rest in on the trip over?
Absolutely, we should be there probably by morning if we leave right away. And I'm sure most people will be hungover.
Well, then, no time like the present, I guess, unless you two ladies have any objection.
I'm going to put my hands together in a pious sort of way. It says, clearly, this is judgment from the gods for overindulging. Them.
Oh, you paladins are so cute. She walks past you.
I'm clearly being facetious, but
She walks out on the deck, starts commanding the crew to pull up anchor and get ready, and within moments, the ship is starting to pull out of port, and you are out on the ocean within fairly short order.
All right, I suggest that we get some sleep over the course of the journey, so that we can, when we awake, we are refreshed with full health and full spell charges.
I have a lot of questions when we get there. We need to have a plan of attack before we...
I have a plan. Sorry.
Okay, well, like maybe knowing the island that we're going to.
Yeah, a chart or map or something might be helpful.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Something to get a lay of the land, where this guy might be, how many people might be there. Any information we can get would be very useful.
All right, so
Okay,
Thera,
but we do need to leave time to get a rest in.
Yes,
So-
we can have a conversation, though.
so
Yeah.
Thera pulls out a map of the island, says, well, this is Jaris' estate. The rest of his crew and his cutthroats typically stay in their own houses. Here's down by the beach where most of the parties tend to happen. The jungle's up here in the forests. If we come... Hell, I'm just welcome at the island 9 times out of 10, so we'll see who happens to be on watch that particular morning. They should just let us moor right away. Or we can perhaps take one of my boats in, go in quietly. If
Just
you
out of
think that's an
curiosity,
option.
is there a chance you might be able to pass us off as members of your crew and sneak us onto the island that way?
I have no doubt. I could just say you are hired swords, your cell swords working for me for the next little while. Jaris wouldn't think that too unusual, though me hiring a man is a little bit out of the ordinary.
I'm gonna grin at you.
I'm gonna shoot back. More unusual than a pirate hiring a paladin?
Well,
I can be less obvious about it. I'd take off the armor and hide them.
everybody makes compromises.
Not this one. Trust me.
Quiet, you.
Marcus, we could find you a lovely dress to wear.
No.
You'd have to shave.
I'm not wearing a dress.
She
course
kind
it's
of
them.
Thera laughs and says, "I don't know how effective in combat he would be in a fine evening gown, but I'm pretty sure what you're wearing should be fine. I'll just have you be my personal escort."
That I can do.
She goes,
Oh, dear.
Well, hello there.
"This will be an entertaining morning, I'm quite sure." So, she shows you the lay of the land. Jaris's estate is rather huge. It can be seen once you approach the lighthouse from the ocean. And, yeah, you'll be there in about 6 hours or so.
Do we have some sort of plan? I mean, obviously we can get close to Jaris. What are we going to say? What are we going to do?
I think it would be best if we were able to get him isolated. Like maybe Thera comes up with an idea of like she wants to negotiate a deal with him or something to discuss it privately. Just the two of them and a small entourage each. We take care of the bodyguards. Then we've got Jaris isolated. We can interrogate him all we want, and then it wouldn't attract the larger hornet's nest down on us.
Well, Jaris will talk to me no matter what. Me and him, like I said, we do have a quote-unquote gentleman's agreement, so that's not too big of a deal. Some of his lieutenants, however, I'm a little more concerned about. A little more ornery. Not exactly the most pleasant folk you want to share a ship with over a long voyage.
We're concerned with... There may be somebody there besides Jaris that we want to talk to, or perhaps apprehend, or just write out slay, depending on...
This is the problem. We don't really have enough information on who is there, what is there. So, for a large part of this, we're going to have to be flexible and play a lot of it from here. It's not ideal, but that's the situation we're in.
If there was somebody among Jaris' crew there that you... Do you know enough about his people to know if somebody was there who hadn't been there before?
Yeah,
or does he rotate through people a lot?
He rotates through people a lot, but he also does have a fairly consistent group of people he works with. He does hire out occasionally some mercenaries, but he does keep an assassin / thief friend of his fairly close to him. They've been friends for years. That's Farn. One of the other people, I've only seen this guy around recently, is a guy named Para.
Ah,
Bingo.
That's the cowboy, the sorcerer. Smart money says he's the accomplice. All right. Well, this sorcerer Para is a person of interest in our larger scheme. So, if you spy him, could you maybe signal to us somehow?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, he'll be the guy with the rat weasel-looking face. He's got these ugly front teeth. You'll know him whenever you see him, believe me.
Right. Do you know anything about him? You say he...
Well, I know he's a sorcerer of some degree of skill. Whether he's as powerful as me, that debate's to be seen. But I know he's a coward. He doesn't like to bleed. Pretty much he'll run at the first sign. If he thinks he's losing the fight, he'll try and weasel his way out of it somehow, some way.
well, that sounds like a good sign. If we can catch him off guard, then we can squeeze him for information, and he can sing like a canary.
All right. So, primary objective, get information out of Jaris. Secondary objective, apprehend Para if we see him.
I think Para's the main objective.
I would say so. I think we should shift our focus slightly.
I
Go for
think
Para.
Jar-
If he manages to weasel away, then we go for Para.
I think
Okay.
Jaris may even be just tangentially involved. I think Para
Yeah, I
is-
think he's a hired gun, for lack of a better term.
Okay. So then, how do we want to approach Para then?
Well, I can change out some of my spells tomorrow. After a long rest.
If we can pin him down.
My guess is that if Para is as deeply involved as we surmise, he might know that we're coming. He might be informed that we're coming, and he might already know what we look like. So
don't split up.
Keep together. Get him alone if possible. I think no matter what, if we try and take him in front of everyone else, we are going to get attacked. So if we can get him alone, or him and just Jaris alone, that would be probably
That would be
better.
ideal.
Yeah.
Or even better if we could somehow get Jaris to turn on him. Maybe get him to hand him over to us.
Yeah.
Well, Jaris does like money. He does like women. And he does like power. Promise him any of those three things or a combination thereof, and I'm sure he's as loyal to you as long as it's in his interests to be loyal to you.
How loyal is he to the idea of not being eaten from the inside out by a greater demon?
Well, I don't know much about the man's personal religious politics, so I really couldn't tell you.
I would say more it's a case of, that city that you're making all that profit from. If this demon gets their way, it's going to be burned to the ground.
Thera kind of smirks and goes, yeah, that might be enough to get him to turn.
All right.
Nobody likes to rule the ashes of a once worthwhile kingdom.
From what you know about Jaris, we know that he deals in flesh, which is, as far
awful.
as I'm concerned, a capital punishment. You wouldn't characterize him as hateful towards other races in any way, would you?
No, the thing about Jaris is he only sells people for labor. He only takes the strongest and the people he thinks the most capable. He won't touch women. He won't touch children. So he's got that going for him. Which is the only reason I haven't killed him outright.
Could you take him in a fight, do you think?
Well,
Just
as
out
I've
of pure
heard,
curiosity.
as I've heard one of the dock workers so eloquently describe it, well, I could kick him in the nuts. Yeah, I could take him.
Okay.
All right.
Believe me, all he does is leer at me. So, yeah.
Is it you specifically he leers at, or is...
She kind of laughs, throws her head back, gives you this shit-eating grin. Frankly, my dear, if it's got a pair of tits, he'll look at it. But he's not disconcerting.
Okay.
However, he does like me. He thinks I'm more intelligent than the rabble.
Okay.
But I'm just not interested.
Well... Yeah, I'm back to my theory that Jaris is tangentially related.
I think you might be right. So if we can persuade him that to hand this sorcerer over to us, then we might be able to leave without much, if any, bloodshed.
Hopefully.
If we play our cards right. So,
What time are we on?
it should be about time for us to wrap up. So this would probably be the point where we decide to get some rest and prepare for the next morning.
All right, so what's going to happen next? Our adventurers prepare to lie down before they lay, well, a kind of siege on Jaris' island fortress. We'll see what happens as Thera has decided to join them in this endeavor because she's just so damn amused. So we'll have to see what happens next on Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone. I've been your game master for this evening, Mike the Birdman Dodd from thisweekingeek.net and terriblewarriors.com. I've been joined in Baltimore with
Dr. Gonzo?
the American Midwest,
The cat?
jolly old motherfucking England.
Sky Blaze.
And of course, guys, we'll catch you here next time on Fools Who Ride the Dreamstone. Until then, may all your rolls be nat 20s and deal critical damage.